This is Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage, your place for all things Wisconsin sports. Now, your host, Trage.
How we doing, everybody, and welcome into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here for the November 26th edition of the show here. I hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday so far here. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend that was this past weekend here. It was a good weekend for myself. A lot of good sports. Some bad, right? Wisconsin men's basketball dropped that game to BYU. We're going to get into that game a little bit here today. We're going to look ahead, see what this team's got to do, because I think we've been waiting for it with the Badgers. We've been waiting to see the bad because they have played lesser opponents, I guess, for the first four. And it's hard to nitpick, right? You want to see what they can do well, what they don't do well, trying to find the ugly. And when you're playing lesser opponents, sometimes it's a little bit harder to see that. And I think we finally saw it against BYU. Now it's a question of how do they respond? How do they move forward? So we're going to talk about that here today on the show. Badger football. Wow. I did not think I'd come off the weekend and say Badger football once again made my weekend. But they did. They did. They beat up on Burt. It was fantastic. Brett, he goes into I loved when Bielema went into the locker room at halftime. And he said, we have to start playing our game. We have to stop playing down to theirs. And they ended up losing it 27-10. That was awesome. I loved every second of it. Because after he said that, I said to myself, man, I hope that they just beat him now. Then they beat him good. And then, you listen across, the ESPN radio show on Sportsman was talking about Evan Cohen keeps joking at that Michelle Smallman about the game because she's a big Illinois fan and he's big Wisconsin. And she's like, oh, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while and this and that. And who's got the better record and this. I don't care, honestly. I don't about the whole, blind squirrel. It was 27-10. And I got to be honest with you. It was impressive because Illinois did not look like they were the 21st best team in the country. Like they should be ranked number 21. They did not look like that. And Wisconsin's defense actually made Illinois' offense look bad in that game. Look bad. So I don't know how, if you're an Illinois fan, I don't know how you come off that game and say to yourself, wow, I feel good. I feel good. I feel good even saying or joking with Wisconsin fans at this point that you guys stink and this and that. It's like, no, you're 7-4, but you didn't look good against us. And let's look at your wins. Let's look across the board at the wins. You beat USC, good win. But you beat Purdue, you beat Rutgers, you beat Maryland. Wisconsin lost to Maryland, so whatever. But what I'm saying is, end of the day, there's a lot of teams on Wisconsin. Look at Wisconsin's schedule. We're going to talk about this today, but I think I'm finally coming around to thinking to myself, wow, this schedule just was really tough. You didn't have your starters. You didn't have the guys you went in the season thinking you were going to roll with. Maybe this is what it was supposed to look like. It just took a while to get there. It took the freshmen being involved to, allow it to get there. I don't know. Christian and I are going to talk about it. There's a lot to dive into with that. Because the question now is, are we turning the corner with Fickell? Are we feeling better about Luke Fickell? It's kind of where we're at right now. So we're going to dive into that. Christian's going to stop by. We're going to have him on next, actually. So when we're going to hit a break here, coming up in a little bit. And then second segment of the show, Christian's going to stop by. We're going to talk Badger football. We're going to talk Badger hoops. So make sure you guys are checking that one out. So Badger football, another top 25 win for this Badger football team. And then the field storm again. And I know people are there's a mixed batch, right? Some people are like, well, why are you, storming the field again? You beat the this team that in Illinois that was 21st in the nation, nothing crazy good. Honestly, I don't care. If you want to, Illinois handled it very well. They had their security out there. It was very good. Got the guys off the field. That was good to see. But fans want to storm the field. Wisconsin fans have gone through a lot in 1 year to have this be the emotion now. A lot in a couple of years now to have this be the emotion now. So you know what? They want to storm the field. Let them. I have nothing against it. I have nothing against it at all. They're hyped. Fans are finally hyped. They're back into it. They're backing Fickell again. I'm in with it. I like it. I like it. The players deserve it. It was an awesome performance. So you know what? I'll take it. So whatever. People are against it. They're against it. I'm all good with it. If you want to storm the field after beating a top 25 team and you have a losing record, go for it in my book there. So Badgers get the win there. Packers with the big win over the Vikings over the weekend there. Good stuff there. We're going to talk about that later on in the show with Ummer. I want to get into that. We have some Bucks talk to get to. Bucks, it's been struggle. The Giannis-less Bucks are a struggle bus at this point here. So we're going to talk about that later on here with Kyle. The big thing that I've been seeing coming off the weekend is Bears fans telling me that they aren't getting enough respect. This team isn't getting enough respect because they are leading the division and nobody sees them as this great team that's, a powerhouse, whatever. They're not in these power rankings. They're not near the top in the power rankings. You know what? And I've been looking at this and I look through the schedule and I look through who they played, how they've beat them, the stats, everything in between. You've played a lot of close games against a lot of bad teams. You haven't exactly played the best teams to this point. And when you have, like the Lions in week 2, you lost 52-21. So I do agree. A win's a win, right? We say it all the time. So a win's a win, right? I completely agree. A win's a win. A win's a win until the point where you're winning ugly all the time. Now it's a question of, can you beat good teams winning ugly? Because you've beat bad teams winning ugly. And it's fine to win ugly. I'm good with that. I actually enjoy watching some teams win ugly. That's just the MO of some teams. But now it's a question of, if you are the Chicago Bears, you have the Eagles coming up. You have the Packers coming up after that. And then you have the Browns. And you have the Packers, 49ers, Lions. Can you beat those teams playing as you are? That's the question mark. That's going to answer the question of, are the Bears for real, and do the Packers or Lions have to worry about them in that race for the top spot in the NFC North? So we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about that later with Ummer here on the show. We have a boatload of things to dive into tonight here on the show. We have Christian stopping by next. We're going to talk Badger football. We're going to talk Badger hoops. And then Ummer's going to stop by. We're going to talk a little Packers. And then we got to get Kyle on later, talk a little Bucks. No Giannis. It's been a struggle. We're going to talk with him. And then we got to get to our NFL talk later on in the show. We have a loaded up show here getting you ready for a Thanksgiving, a feast week, as they say on ESPN, right? A feast week. So we'll be right back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade. Christian stopped by. We have Badger talk coming at you. Back into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade. I'm your host, Trade, as we come back here on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment is brought to you by 1891 Winery. They celebrate history with flavor. Sip on artisan wines crafted on location, or grab a cold beer and pair it with a giant pretzel or pizza. Right now, get down there. Watch some live sports. The Packers looking good. Badger football. Wow, right? Wow. And then we got, Badger hoops. We expect better things out of Badger hoops moving forward there after that butt kicking they took by BYU. It should get better as they move on here with the season. Lots of good stuff happening around the sporting world, and you can catch it all down there at 1891 Winery there in Greenwood. So Christian is here tonight. Christian, how we doing on this Wednesday?
We're good. It's almost Thanksgiving. I'm ready to eat, man.
I was going to ask you, what are the plans? What are the plans for Thanksgiving? Are you cooking? Is somebody else cooking? Are you in charge?
I got 2 of them. I got family. I got my side on Thanksgiving, heading up to Stratford for that, and then got the in-laws in Merrimack the next weekend. But I'm in charge of the turkey for them on Saturday. So,
oh boy, that's
fire up the Traeger, man.
Oh, he's got the Traeger out. Yes. So we're going over to my wife's family on Thanksgiving, and then I got a 19-pound turkey upstairs right now. 19-pound turkey right now. That baby's going on the Traeger. She is going to cook. It is going to be fantastic. Oh, I can't wait. I got excited when you said Traeger. I was like, let's go. That's a big bird. That's a big bird. I didn't realize that it was that big of a turkey until I pulled it out of the freezer, and I'm like, oh boy.
It's better hope that thing thaws out.
That's the hope, right? It'll work. It'll be okay. It'll work. We got to have faith.
All good.
It's all the pressure in the world when you got to be the guy cooking the turkey. Like, that's the pressure. Like, it was always on my grandma, and she did a fantastic job of it, but it was always on her. And now I invited her over on Saturday there because we won't get over there. Boy. So I was like, oh, yeah, you can come over here. I'm like, okay, now the pressure's on me to make this turkey. So hopefully I can figure it out. The pressure's on. I'll let you guys know come next week. If we failed, if we mastered it, I'll let you know. But we're going to have the costume spice on there. So yeah, that'll be some good stuff. It'll be some good stuff. So happy to hear that. Christian, I mean, we're happy to see the Badgers right now.
Oh, yeah.
This Badger football team. I don't know. Is it just, okay, just hear me out on this one. Is it a crazy coincidence that right when the front office or Chris McIntosh and the chancellor came out and they said, we put full faith in Luke Fickell, we're going to give him the funds, we support him wholeheartedly, everything like that. And then all of a sudden, this team started playing. It's like they just found this next gear. Everything started to click. Luke Fickell I don't know if he started having fun again, but it looked like he wasn't coaching as much for a job anymore. It looked like he was just throwing pieces out there to see what it was. He, gave the runway to Mason Posa and Catalano, and he's got that defense is just, they're fantastic. If they had a decent offense, I mean, goodness, watch out. And then, Carter Smith gets that runway. He's looked a lot better. Is it a coincidence? It's crazy to think that, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about, wow, is this team going to win another game? And now they've won 2 top 25 matchups at Camp Randall. Is it crazy? Is it just like, what happened? What's going on?
I don't know. That's what I can't, maybe it is the pressure is off now, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's also, maybe he felt that pressure. So he stuck with, the upperclassmen, those kind of guys like Tackett Curtis, who I was 100% on board with. But don't even think about him anymore because you got the 2 freshman linebackers, and I just feel like maybe he just said, all right, whatever, I'm good. Let's just see what the season's done. Like we kind of talked about, let's just see what all the young guys have, and holy crap, maybe they were just way better than the other guys were, So, and then I don't know, maybe it's part of it too, is everyone's kind of rallying behind Carter Smith. They really like him, they'll play for him, and that kind of thing where this is just complete, oh, what if, right? Maybe they didn't feel the same way about Danny O'Neal or, Billy Edwards Jr. or, Hunter Simmons. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's a bunch of young guys playing. They don't know any better, So it's just kind of let's just go play with our hair on fire and just, ball out.
I'll take it.
I don't know.
I'll take it any day of the week. I'll take it. Every facet of this team is starting to play better. And it's crazy. The running back room, the offensive line. We talked about how banged up that offensive line is. We got guys, they're third stringers out there at this point here. We don't even know the names of half of them. And they were an afterthought at the start of the year. And they're like crazy right now. They opened up a hole for Darian Dupree to take off for 84 yards down the field. The best block of the night wasn't even a block. It was Eugene Hilton taking his corner down the field.
Eugene Hilton doing the fake. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my God. It's awesome, wasn't it?
Just the little things. And like we were talking about before at the break, we were talking about Carter Smith. And I said, you know what the best throw of the night is? And you knew exactly what I was going to say. It was the one to Lance Mason on the trick play, the flea flicker. And it wasn't even a completion. But what you saw in that throw was a guy, he was getting smoked. There was a guy in his lap. It was pressure right there. And he just made the throw. And it was right on the money to Lance Mason. And he got clocked and lost the football. And it happens. I'm not going to say he shouldn't have caught it, but you can see where he dropped it in that sense. But we're seeing those little things that give you hope. They give you that, okay, maybe, just maybe, this was a really I'm going to say something crazy right now because I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're nuts. Maybe this was a really tough schedule. And maybe you did not have a quarterback who was ready. And maybe you had a banged up offensive line. And that's what we need to take into account here. Because I don't think Luke Fickell forgot how to coach the game of football when he came to Madison. I think, and from watching what I've seen, and I'm not going to take back what I said because I think Luke Fickell, and this is the big question is, do we have our faith back in him, right? And I compare it to basically when I touch a wire when I'm wiring an outlet and I get shocked, right? So I walk to the breaker panel and I think I shut it off, but then I go back over and I test it with my tester 14 times, knowing that every time I test it, it's going to be off, but I'm still going to check it because I don't have faith yet. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm still checking it out and I'm still I'm excited now. I'm watching this intently now because I'm excited, but I don't want to get overly excited because I've seen rock bottom. But you know what? I saw a quote. You know what rock bottom is? When you hit rock bottom, it's a base for you to build something stronger off of. Maybe this program needed to hit rock bottom so that way they could build something back. Maybe they needed to hit that rock bottom so they could build the structure back the way that Luke Fickell and Jeff Grimes want to build it. And that's into a program that works for them. Not a program that worked for Phil Longo because that was a mess. Maybe it's something that they're structuring now with these guys. You're building your foundation. This is your foundation now. Posa, Catalano, Carter Smith. Those guys are your foundation. Atuka, right? Those guys are the foundation that you're going to build forward now. So I think that's where I'm at right now. It's like you hit rock bottom. I didn't think it could go any deeper, right? I don't know. You couldn't really get further down. But now we're seeing it build itself back. And that's what I like to see. So I guess where are you at right now? Is your faith there in Luke Fickell, or are you kind of like the same where I am, where it's like, okay, I got to see it, right? It's an eye test thing, and I see good now, but I got to see it continue.
Yep, and I think it's definitely higher than it was, especially if you get shut out back-to-back weeks, 37-0, 31-0, but Iowa and Ohio State. I'm like, it's you lose to Maryland, like it's low, right? But then they beat Washington. I'm like, okay, maybe Washington's just not that good, right? On the road, bad weather, we got lucky, whatever. But then it was 10-7 at halftime to Indiana, and that's a team that beat Illinois by 52. And then, the wheels fell off. Our offense, which is already like brand new coordinator. We're on our fourth quarterback. Offensive line's banged up. We have so many freshmen playing. All this stuff's going on. Like, the offense isn't going to be good, right? But then, the wheels fell off second half, but they played Indiana pretty dang well, holding them to what, 31 is out it was, 31 to 7. That's really good. They're like, I think they were one of the best, or if not the top scoring team in the entire country. So like holding them to that is awesome. The offense, whatever. But then Indiana or Illinois is 21 coming in, 22, whatever they were coming in. Oh man, it felt so good to watch them pants Brett Bielema. Oh, just watching them run all over them and just constantly putting Altmaier under pressure. Like, that was awesome, man. So I think back to your question, I guess. I think I'm more like you. I want to see it. If they come back and they have a game like Illinois against Minnesota and they take it to the Gophers, who just lost to Northwestern, and just really take it to them, get the axe back, I'll be a lot higher going into next year. I'll be a little more excited. But if they lose, I'll be like, well, maybe they just struck, they got hot a couple games or something. They got lucky a couple games. I don't know, but we'll see.
If they play like they did against Illinois, against Minnesota, it won't be a game. It will be an absolute rout. They will rout Minnesota. I mean, the way Minnesota, you look at the last month Minnesota has played, their one good game, their win was against Michigan State, and that team has no wins in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and that was they were losing too, weren't they? They had to come back in overtime. Yeah.
Yep. Other than that, they went to Northwestern. They lost by 3. They lost to Oregon, worse than the Badgers, at Oregon, and then they got smoked by Iowa, same as Wisconsin. So, you look across the board, there's nothing that, their win came against Purdue.
I think Wisconsin's got the momentum. And like you said, Minnesota did not have nearly as tough of a schedule as Wisconsin did.
No.
And we're what? What are they?
6-5.
6-5, and we're 4-7.
Yep. And there's still a chance of a bowl game. I did see Zach Heilprin tweeted out there for the Badgers that they would need. So this is what needs to happen.
He's got the whole
list. I saw the whole list. The Badgers need to beat Minnesota. And for Mississippi State, Kansas, Buffalo, Temple, North Carolina, Delaware, Army, Temple, Auburn, Kentucky, Florida State, Baylor, Kansas State, UCF, Washington State, Rice, Louisiana, and Texas State to combine for a 3-5 record or worse next weekend. So there you go. If you guys need to know who to root against, it's all those teams. That if they all lose, the Badgers
combine for a 3-5 record.
So they need 3-15. Sorry.
I was like, that's a lot of teams for 3-5.
3-15 or worse next weekend. So you need to have at least.
Well, Mississippi State plays Ole Miss, so you can probably chalk that up as a loss, right?
Okay. Well, who knows? Because Lane Kiffin might.
He's going to be there.
He might not.
He'll be there for that.
You think
it's going to be after the Egg Bowl, they said.
Oh, man.
But there's that big distraction looming over them, right?
That's even a bigger disaster than what we thought we had in Madison. That whole
I
thing
know,
with
right?
Lane Kiffin down there. Like, is he going to leave? It's just a mess. College football is a mess.
Everyone's joking that it's literally just like recruiting, but for a coach instead of a player right now.
Yes, 100%. I don't truly understand how like college football like how the NCAA thinks this is okay. Like you can have a coach leave or have talking to with other programs before the season's even over.
Dude, it's such a mess.
It is like, and I've said it a million times.
If you're a player for Ole Miss, how are you not like? Are you seriously like doing this in the middle of our season right now when we're in the hunt for college football playoff and you're entertaining other offers and your family's traveling to LSU and all this stuff? I'd be like, are you serious?
I'd be like, no, I don't want you there because if you're there, I'm not there. Like, I'm not going to play for you. Like, you're leaving me. Like, and you're going to be like, oh, and I know for a fact when you get to Florida or LSU, you're going to call me and you're going to say, hey, I'm at Florida. Want to come down here? And it's like, what? Like, I don't know how.
But that's the thing. Where's their loyalty? Is it to their coach or is it to their school, their program?
Actually, at this point,
what are you committing to? A coach or a program?
In college these days, I don't know how much loyalty there is left. I really don't. You can get it from a few guys. But I mean, you look at guys like AJ Storr. What is he at? College number 5? He went to 4 high schools and 4 colleges.
4. Yeah, like, number 8 in 8 years. 8
different schools in 8 years of his that's baffling.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how we can. That's a whole nother day of work right there to talk about why the NCAA thinks that's okay. We're not going to get into that.
Back to the Badgers.
We're far away from the Badgers right now. Let's get back to the Badgers here. Badgers, they had that game against Illinois. I mean, let's just talk about some of the good. Like what we saw that was good in this game. And like we're talking about the big thing, yes, the pass rush, the defense there, 100% for the Badgers. And it's everybody, right? It's Daryl Peterson. It's Sebastian Cheeks getting downhill. It's all these guys for this team as of late here. Sebastian Cheeks to Daryl Peterson to
Mason Reiger.
Mason Reiger, that's the guy I was thinking of there. Goodness, it's all Ben Barton's been clogging up holes up the middle. Corey Walker's been playing good off the outside, so is Aaron Witt. I mean, there's a lot of guys stepping up across this defense. And you watch this team, it's like, okay, we've seen this though for weeks. The defense has always been there all season long. Have they been as good as what they've been as of late? No, but the defense has been there. It's just the offense, I think, that's kind of staggered. It's been on,
and it's hard. It's hard for the defense to like consistently be good when they're always on the field.
Yes.
Right? Like how many times do we watch the offense go 3 and out and like, oh, there was 40 seconds off the clock. Defense, you're back in. Like
100%. I think that's what we've seen
effective
now.
Like that.
I think that's what we've seen now is that now that the offense is slowly starting to find something and being able to sustain drives and bring that juice back, because when you're on defense, you're like, oh, we just got off the field. The offense had a 3 and out. Here we go. Let's go stop them again. It's like, do it against Indiana 14 times. It's like, guys, we can't keep doing this. Fernando is going to light us up at some point here. And he did in that second half. But it's what we saw in this Illinois game. I mean, the defense, they had some juice to them because Darian Dupree takes that one to the house. They had that punt, the special teams play that was massive there. I mean, they just had a couple different times where there was massive plays or massive drives. That opening drive for the Badgers. I mean, I thought that was the best opening drive that I have seen from the Wisconsin Badgers. I don't even remember one that was better.
Since Fickell's been there?
Yeah. I can't remember one that's better. I mean, we saw everything. We saw the passing game. We saw the run game. We saw everything. We saw holes getting opened up. We saw a push to the second level. That's the thing with the offensive line too, is they're getting to the second level now. It's not just like they're blocking on the first level. They're getting to the second level and allowing these backs to get through and also get a couple extra yards after it. Like that is something we haven't seen in weeks from this team. So I just love it all the way around. So let's look ahead. There's so many things we could dive into this line of game, but we got to hit a break here. So let's get to the Minnesota game. Looking ahead to the Axe Week here. What are some of the things you got to see from this Badger team? What do you want to see here? Season finale in quotations could be question mark. We don't know, but what do you want to see here against Minnesota as the season wraps up?
I want to see what we saw against Illinois. I want to see the offense sustain some drives. I want to see him let Carter Smith let it loose a little bit. I know people are just looking at him. in these last few games. Like, he's not a very good passing quarterback. He's just a running quarterback. But this dude lit it up in Florida in his senior year. He threw for a ton of yards. Like, he can do it. And we saw him do it with Lance Mason, right? I mean, obviously you got to establish the run first, but I think I want to see him start throwing it a little more. I mean, I haven't dug into Minnesota a whole lot yet, so I have no idea what their pass defense is like or, anything like that. But I want to see some of that. But, yeah, sustained drives. Keep the defense off the field a little bit so then they can just, go to work like they did against Illinois. And just, I don't know, what's the guy's name? Drake Lindsay? Is that their quarterback? Yeah. I want to see them, like, he is not nearly as good of a quarterback as Luke Altmaier. So if they can contain their running back, I think it's Darius Taylor. He's a pretty good running back, but I don't think he's really done a whole lot this year. Anyways,
454 yards.
Yeah, and that's it. Jeez, yep. This is the program that had that Mohammed Ibrahim and whatever that like led the Big Ten in rushing. All that stuff. Like, I don't know. I just think I want to see them contain the run, which they've done a great job of all year with that defensive line and with Posa and Catalano, and then just let the edge guys pin their ears back and go. Like, I think that's a huge reason why if their secondary is their weakness due to injuries or just, not the best talent, but like their front 8 can make up for that. Their front 7 make up for that. They can make things easy for the secondary when they're constantly getting to the quarterback. Right. That's what I want to see against Minnesota too.
Right, 100%. You're making them have to throw quick. They got to throw some quick passes. Nothing really developing, no explosive plays, right? Trying to keep out of that kind of realm. And like you said, control that run game. Don't let the run game go crazy on in this one. And then if you're Wisconsin on the flip side of it, offensively, let it rip. Just let it rip.
Yep.
I saw what I needed to see out of Carter Smith in that last game, where I trust him, where I don't need to see Hunter Simmons at the end of the first half to try and bust the drive down the field. Just let Carter Smith do it. I'm done with seeing that. Oh, my. It's like we watch him throw. No, we watch him throw.
Like, what do you – again, here's the thing. Ever since they lost to Indiana, really, but, like, what do you have to lose? We don't have a bowl game. This is literally the last game. The only thing we have to lose is the axe. And, like, I would rather go down swinging, being super aggressive and lose the axe rather than be super conservative and then still probably lose because we've seen this all season.
100%. Here's the thing. I don't care anymore. I just want to see Carter Smith in full-fledged. If I let him loose in a do-or-die game, what does he do for me? That's what I want to know. That's what I need. That's all I need to know.
And the other thing, too, is if you don't let him let loose, we really don't know what we have in him right now as a passing quarterback. So then what do you have to do in the offseason? You almost have to bring in another quarterback or two. I mean, you're going to have to anyway for backups, but that changes the mindset. Are you going to be looking more for, a potential starter or competition for Carter Smith in the portal, or are you looking for depth? Because Carter Smith's the guy. Like, I think you got to let it rip. And so you have an idea of what you have going into next season. I mean, granted, yes, they know what they're going to have from practices and stuff like that, but like, that's nothing compared to like game snaps, real life snaps.
They told me Braden Locke and
no, don't say that name.
They said him and Tyler Van Dyke were comparable coming out of camp, and I watched Tyler Van Dyke and he wasn't great, but Braden Locke was not great at all. So like,
that just shows the level of quarterback play they have,
right? But that just shows that practice doesn't mean anything. Like, you got to see it in a game, like you're saying. And I mean, like you said, Carter Smith, we don't know what he's got yet, but we could start to get a picture. We saw Braden Locke, and that's what I was going to say, make a couple of good throws down the field. And we saw that out of him a couple times. Now, it wasn't great after that, but we saw a couple good throws. We want to see it on a consistent level. And that's what I think you want to see in this game. Get a guy like Vinny Anthony involved. Get Trek Kahuna involved because he was fantastic in that game. I mean, my goodness, when you get him in open field.
Ballard. What happened to that guy?
Get Ballard involved. I mean,
did you see that? Did you see that one play in the red zone when Carter Smith was rolling out and he ran like a post out to the corner of him and he's just under the flag and he's just wide open. Carter Smith missed him. I'm just like, this dude has had a few of those plays this year where he's wide open and the quarterback doesn't see him or doesn't get him the ball. He's got to be getting so frustrated.
With Carter Smith, I just wonder if it's like they got the training wheels on yet and he doesn't know if he's supposed to make that throw. This is where I pop the training wheels off and let him fall. If he falls, he falls. It's like a kid. When you let him out on the first time or me right now, because I've ridden a bike in so long, I'd probably fall down too. You let me go down the driveway, and when I tip over, that's okay. You tip me back up, we keep going. That's what we want to see Carter Smith on, and that's what we're hoping for here. So we got to hit a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little Badger basketball, men's basketball on the backside of the ad break. We'll be right back into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment here, we're talking Badger hoops. This next segment is brought to you by Casa M Spice, the low sodium, clean label, no fillers, no MSG. This stuff is fantastic. If you are in a crunch, let's just say you screwed up. You have to try and get that turkey made and you don't know what to season it with. You're like way behind on the times. You don't know what to do. Maybe you have some vegetables, something you got to prepare for Thanksgiving. Grab yourself some Casa M Spice. I'm telling you right now, you cannot go wrong with this. You're going to be the hit at your Thanksgiving party, and they're going to say, hey, can you bring this next year? Probably not. I don't want to do this again. But anyways, grab yourself some Casa M Spice. You got to get it. It's fantastic there. So Christian is back here. We're going to talk a little Badger hoops. We were talking at the break when we were there, and he was talking about his kid and getting him to sit down and watch some YouTube TV to watch a little basketball there. And we're like, oh, YouTube TV's got the multi-view. I was like, you could blow his mind with the 4. And he's like, yeah, he'd probably, lose his interest really fast because it'd be overstimulating. So we were talking about it. How do you constructively watch 4 games at one time? So Christian, how do you do it? Like, if you were to explain to somebody, because my wife always asks me, she's like, how do you watch 4 basketball games at the time? And I'm like, you have to like pick the best spot and avoid looking at the other ones. You have to pick the one in the best spot at the most crucial point in each half and portion of the game. What do you tell people when they're like, how do you watch 4 games at once?
I'm not going, man. I struggle with it anyway, as is, because like I told you, I sit and watch. I'm like, my eyes get drawn to like you said, the like most important part of each game or whatever. But then also I feel like I'm still hearing the other game, so it throws me off, and I don't want to have to sit there with my remote and like move it around just so I can keep hearing, whatever. But I mean, yeah, I guess just kind of let your eyes kind of wander. Sometimes I'll even turn the volume down a little bit just so I can like focus a little more. And then it's just like, okay, like you said, which game's closer? I'm going to go to that one. Is time winding down at the half or, end of the game? I'm probably going to get drawn to that one, right? But again, you also need a big TV to do it too. So you're not trying to watch, because like you said, if you're on like a smaller TV and then you split into 4 screens, all of a sudden it's like hard to see, right? So you also need a big TV.
Yeah, it's got to be like 65 plus. It's got to be 65 plus, because then it's like you got 4 like 42-inch TVs in a square. Otherwise, it's like I got my phone screen up there when you got a 42-inch TV, and that just, it's a disaster when you do it like that there. So we got to talk some Badger hoops here. But before that, we got to hit our Casa M Spice Bold Player of the Week. So, Christian, who do you got for me? Who is your Casa M Spice Bold Player of the Week?
All right, I'm going to stick with the Badger theme just because, but I'm going to go with Daryl Peterson. The dude finally showed up. Like, he was, I don't know where he's been the last 3 years. Well, like you said, 3.5 years. He waited until the last 3 games to start going off. He's got, I don't know how many sacks now in the last 3 games, but it's 2.5, 3 per game. Like that guy, him.
Yeah, I like that.
Daryl Peterson.
I like that. There we go. I like that one there. I'm going to have to go with, give me Isaiah McDuffie. McDuffie. Built in for Clay Walker in that game, leads the team in tackles, has a big interception late in that game, has a half a sack. He was fantastic. He was all over the field. He was big time in the Packers' dominant defense, second half defensive performance that we saw against the Vikings. So I'm going to have to give it to Isaiah McDuffie. I know there's a boatload of guys on that defense. You can give it to Micah Parsons, everybody in between. Emmanuel Wilson had a huge game. But by Isaiah McDuffie has to be my bold player of the week for the way he stepped up in that game for the Green Bay Packers. So let's talk about a team that didn't really step up for us here this last week. And that was on Friday, the weird tip time behind a screen of $17 a month for Peacock and a purple court. We saw the Badgers take on BYU.
Purple court.
Purple court. That was just terrible. It was just an eyesore.
Well, the NBA game that, whatever, the NBA
Yeah,
Cup.
well, then host it at BYU. I don't want to play at this.
I know, right?
Why do we have a neutral site game that's basically at BYU? That doesn't make sense. Like, if you're going to have a neutral site
Wisconsin's hosting some games at Fiserv this year, right?
It's like, well, it doesn't even count as neutral site at that point. It's like, it's in Milwaukee. It's right down the road. Like, it doesn't count as neutral site. You're going to call it neutral site, but it's really not. I'm just like, watching this game, And I know you were heading up to the cabin, so you weren't even able to tune into the whole thing. You just saw the highlights and saw the box score and everything like that. But
I listened to it.
It was good. There was moments, and then it got ugly fast. And I'm going to say the biggest thing that I had, I guess, in this game, one of my biggest bad takeaways was the response of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Because we talk about all the time. We talk about teams. How do they get punched in the mouth? How do they battle back? They didn't battle back. They actually got worse. They actually got more aggressive and in not very smart ways. They started reaching. They started doing these little things in this one. They got beat many
started
times.
Panicking a little bit.
Yep, started panicking. And then you saw the foul trouble. And once they got into foul trouble, that's where BYU was like, all right, here we go. We got him now.
Just keep going.
When Rohde got into foul trouble, and then you had Boyd get into foul trouble, and you had Blackwell, and I know none of them shot that well in the night. But I mean, Boyd got to the rim a lot, so that made him look a little bit better. But from beyond the arc, look bad. There was not a whole lot of good that came out of this game outside of a lot of learning lessons. You learned a lot about this team in this game. I'm gonna say the biggest thing that I had was that I don't think the bench is as deep as what we thought it was, because the second that Hayden Jones got in the game, BYU's bench started screaming, go get him, and then they took the ball from him and scored it. That makes you a little nervous because he's a young guy. He's a young guard yet, but a team like BYU, they're experienced. They're going to get after you. So my worry now is that, okay, you go to the bench. That's fine. But I don't think it's as deep as, okay, we need to run as deep as Hayden Jones. Will Garlick, maybe. Bielkowskis, definitely. Jack Janicki, yep. Braden Carrington had a fantastic game, so yes. But outside of that, I don't know if you need to run any deeper. I mean, what were your impressions, your first impressions, watching the highlights, seeing some of this game here? What was your first impressions coming off of this one?
Well, I mean, just kind of like what you were saying, too. Like, it seemed like they had a little bit of a comeback, and then BYU would drop another 8-10 points in a row, and then, it kind of seemed like they can't keep up with them, and like you said, maybe I felt like they had some. I know that's the offense now, but I felt like they had a lot of really fast shot, like some really quick shots in the shot clock. Like got the ball before, shot a three quick. It's like, well, and I don't know. Again, I'm not seeing it, so I don't know how open they were. I mean, I know what the offense. If you got an open three, like this is a team full of guys who should be able to shoot. You shoot the three, right? But a lot of it kind of seemed maybe a little rushed. Like they started kind of getting a little bit of a deficit, and then they started panicking a little bit. So they're like starting to like try to get all the points back quickly rather than chipping away at it and just playing smart defense. And you know what I mean? Yeah. But I also don't think they had anyone that could have stuck with, what was his name, Dave Nasta or whatever. I don't think they had anyone that could stay with that guy. And then that other dude, that Richie, whatever.
Richie Saunders.
That guy killed us in the NCAA tournament last year. Killed us again this year. I think we really struggle with like aggressive teams, physically aggressive, or just like constantly attacking the hoop aggressive. I think they kind of depend on other teams that used to just like, they'll just sit outside and just, shoot threes and, whatever. But like, I don't know. That's the thing that killed us at BYU last year, against BYU last year, is like they were just they're athletic and aggressive. And I just don't think we could really match that. And they're only better this year.
Yep. No, and yeah, it'd be crazy to think, but if you go back, listen to the podcast, go back on the podcast. I said this before they went into this game. I said, you cannot get into a run and gun match with this team because there's too much talent on BYU, and they want you to go down and shoot it fast because then you get out of sorts and they can push the ball and they can score in transition. And what did the Wisconsin do? They played right into BYU's hands. Shots weren't falling. They kept forcing them from the outside. They couldn't get back on defense. What happened? BYU just had a heyday. They went on a 16-4 run, and then they went on this kind of run. You can't battle back from that if you're Wisconsin, especially if the shots aren't falling from the outside, as we saw in this one. I said it going in. I said, you watch the game against UConn, BYU overhelps. They're going to allow a lot of threes. The question was going to be, can you knock them down?
They couldn't.
7 for 29. And on a perfect day, they fall. But when you have a guy like Austin Rapp, what did he come in for? He's a good three-point shooter. 0 for 5. He was zeros across the board on the stats, basically.
Yeah, he struggled. He had a bad game.
Yep, 2 free throws. That's it. 2 free throws. Outside of that, I mean, there was not a whole lot of good to write home about when you talk about shooting behind the arc. Your main three, Rohde, Blackwell, and Boyd, all go 2 for 12. I think that is 2 for 12 there combined. That's ugly. Your one guy, Nolan Winter, 0 for 5. So you go from the starters in that game, 2 made threes in total. And they shot more than 2. Like it was not a good performance.
No.
So all in all, my biggest concern, and I kind of said this in weeks past, this team finding an offense when the threes aren't falling. Because it's been like this, and I'm going to go back to last year too. I thought it was last year too. They fell in love with the 3. And when it was falling, it was wonderful.
It was great.
It was magical. But when it wasn't falling, it became a big question mark. Where are they going to find the offense? Okay, John Tonje, can you drive the lane? Can you get to the free throw line? Can we win it with free throws? Sometimes. But in a game like this, they didn't shoot the free throw well either. 17 for 26. Now, I'm not going to say that making, 80% of that was going to put them right back in this game, but it looks a heck of a lot better. It keeps it a heck of a lot closer. So that definitely didn't help, was the free throw line. But all in all, I mean, and that's where Diamantis scored a lot of his points right off the bat, was at the free throw line, 11 for 12. I mean, he got in foul trouble. They allowed him to get to the line, but that was the defense. That was letting him get by him. That was transition buckets, trying to get stops in transition. So those were the worries. Those were the worries I have. Your defense gave up 1.27 points per possession.
That's rough.
I don't want to say, because BYU is a really good team. There's a lot of NBA talent on this team. There's a lot of talent for G League, whatever you want to say. There's a lot of talent on this team. But this is a team that you're going to have to beat if you want to get to where you want to be.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
I'm watching Michigan right now. I've watched Michigan State at this point. I've seen Illinois at this point. I've seen Purdue at this point. Now, I'm not going to say those teams are all, going to beat BYU, but I think they could. I think they really could. I think they could probably beat by BYU. So you're going to have to face, those are just 4 right there. If you want to be in the top 4 in the Big Ten, you got to beat one of them.
Yep.
This was a measuring stick. Now, the question now is, what do you show us against Providence? That's where we're at. What do you show us against Providence? Because we saw the ugly, and there was some good. I don't want to say there wasn't some good, right? We had Nolan Winter, 14 points, 14 rebounds, double-double. And I thought, okay, let's go right there. Let's just look at the good for a second here before we get to Providence and looking ahead. The good. Between Braden Carrington and Nolan Winter. I thought Nolan Winter showed me a lot because he proved to me in that game, and proved to all of us, that he can bang with some really good bigs. That's what I wanted to see. We had this question mark, like, did Nolan Winter progress inside? Is he developing inside? I thought in this game we saw it. He had 10 points in the paint there. Not an efficient 5 for 11, but you have some good shot blockers there. But you had 14 rebounds. You banged around some bigs. You battled down there. When everything else was failing around you, battled. Now it's a question of, can we get the ball to Nolan Winter a little bit more down there at the post and make things happen? He's leaving some things short right now. That's kind of the struggle there. So, and it's finishing at the rim. Austin Rapp finished at the rim, man. And we watched a wide open layup, missed it.
And I think for him, that's like the big difference in competition. I mean, the first 4 games, he hasn't been like lights out by any means, but he's been solid, double-digit points, but now all of a sudden, like, to get ready for the Big 10, now you're playing Big 12, you're playing the number 9 team in the country, or, whatever they were, it's like, this isn't the West Coast Conference anymore, or whatever it is. You're not in Portland State. You're right.
Exactly.
You're the big boys now. Right. So, like, I think that was probably a huge, learning opportunity for him. I think he's got to get that figured out. I don't think he'll be that bad all year. I think he'll figure it out and be at least serviceable. But again, he's only a sophomore, so he's got some time yet too. But I think he'll get settled in. He'll be a lot better off moving forward. But again, that's why they want to play these games. They want to play BYU, Providence, potentially Florida or TCU. And then who else do we have? Like Marquette's obviously on there.
Yep.
These are one more. I think there's one more pretty good game on there, isn't there?
Villanova's mixed in
there's Villanova. I mean, they're down. They're not the same Villanova, but still Villanova. I mean, I think they're better than Campbell or Southern, Northern Illinois. So I think they have a. This is why they had such a good non-conference schedule, so they can get ready for their conference schedule.
And like we talked about going into this game, you almost wish that you had a Providence game or something before this BYU game, something to get you ready. Because like you said, you went from like an Austin Rapp, you went from playing at Portland State, whatever, Portland State, to now you're playing in the Big Ten, but your first 4 games aren't against really great competition. And now you go play some of the best competition you're going to see all season.
It was a really big step.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that. And you hope that he develops. So that's some of the things. So let's look ahead to Providence real quick before we got to hit a break. Some of the things I want to see against Providence. Find an offensive rhythm. I don't think they found an offensive rhythm. I still think they're trying to find that, that mesh between this team right now. Kind of that, I'm feeling that, because we see some good passes. We see like, oh, I'm feeling this guy's going to be here. We got to see this team start to flow. I don't think we've seen a great offensive flow. I think we've seen them play bad teams and find it. So I think we got to see an offensive rhythm be established here against Providence. Defense has got to start to improve. I don't care what it is. I think we've seen it. We kind of talked about it in those first 4 games. It wasn't like they were getting tested, but we saw some performances where we even came off it and said, the defense. And we're like, okay, but they put up 90, so it's okay. You're not going to always be able to put up 90. You got to find ways to win a 70-68 game if you have to, because the offense isn't there that night. Are you going to be able to do that? Because when March comes around, you got to be able to put defensive performances together. Will this team be able to start to make strides toward that? It's not going to happen overnight, but I want to see this team start to improve defensively. And I think that'll happen with the mesh when they start to grow together. You have the size and length. Use it. This is a team with so much size, so much length, right? They have the ability, I think, to go with Florida, because they have Austin Rapp, Nolan Winter, Bielakowskis, and Will Garlick. They have size, they have length, they have that disruption that you can have in the post area. Utilize that size. Put your back to the basket, bang around on the boards, bang around in the paint area. Do those things, the dirty things down low. The big guys gotta play like big guys. I don't need them to step out on the arc all the time. I need them to be able to work back to the basket, down low, be able to establish the post area, because when you can work inside out, kick out the shooters, when those shooters don't have to create, I tell you what, John Blackwell is a great shot creator, but he's even a better spot-up shooter. Andrew Rohde, great spot-up shooter. Nick Boyd, great spot-up shooter. If you can work it inside, demand a post presence, demand a double like we saw many times with big Steve Crowell last year, and he can kick to the corner or wherever it was, that's what you want to see. So I got to see that. Austin Rapp has got to show me something in this game here. He's got to show me something. Otherwise, there is no reason why I'm not looking at a guy like Bielakowskis to even say, hey, maybe I give you some run every once in a while. I don't know, maybe a little bit more run, because Austin Rapp so far hasn't proved to me anything of being the big guy that I need him to be. And I got to see, and this is right there. I have to see some physicality and some toughness out of this team. I got to see some, because what we saw in that second half from Wisconsin, they got it back to 7, down to 7 there, and then it was just done. And you just saw, it was like, that was a problem with the mental toughness of this team and being able to overcome the adversity, right? To be able to come back from the whatever that was that we watched in that first half. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it in that one. I didn't feel that they had the mental toughness in that one to be able to come back on the road. It was just that kind of environment for them. I got to see that in this one. You're going to have a very tough tournament. You got Providence here coming up. You got to be able to win that one. And then probably Florida, I would assume. So it's going to be a very good 2 games for you there. I got to see the mental toughness and the physicality from this team. What are some of the things you want to see there down against Providence?
Man, a lot of the same stuff, right? Like, I want to see defense. I feel like their defense hasn't even been great this year. Their offense is covered for a lot of that. But again, so like when we're not at the Kohl Center, so a neutral site against Providence right now, are the shots going to fall? If not, where's the scoring going to come from? Obviously, you think a lot of it's going to be Nick Boyd getting to the hoop, right? But I mean, a lot of his game too is once teams start collapsing in on him, once he does that, he's got to kick it out, got to hit threes again, right? I think I want to see a lot of more earlier in the season, I saw a lot of 2-man game with Rapp and Winter, like little high-low there, and that worked out really well. I feel like I didn't see any of that against, or hear about any of that against BYU. So I want to see that. But yeah, I think defensively is the big thing I want to see. I think how many did they give up a bunch of offensive rebounds against BYU?
Yeah, it was offensive. Richie Saunders was all over the glass.
Well, there it is. So don't get out hustled, right? Stuff like that. And then if things aren't going how you want them to go, how do you respond? Are you going to get punched in the face and just stay down, or are you going to fight your way back, right? And I don't think, like you said, I don't think they did that against BYU at all, from the sounds of it. So, I mean, against BYU and Providence are going to be two very different teams, but doesn't mean that BYU or Providence can't take it to you too. If they saw what BYU did, why wouldn't they try to do it, right?
Right. You got to see a response, right? That's what we're kind of talking about here is you didn't see the response in that game, but now it's about how do you respond next game? Because you're going to have this Providence game, and then it's how you respond a day later because you don't have a big day off, right? You have to hit it the next day. So this is a big test. I think this is a big test now. You have Providence, and then you have Florida. Don't look ahead to Florida. Take care of your business with Providence. Then you worry about Florida TCU. You don't worry about that until you get there. And then you have a lot of tough games like you were just talking about before. I don't care what anybody says. Marquette will always be a good game. It doesn't matter what happens. It'll always be a good game. You have Northwestern. They always play the Badgers tough. You have Nebraska. They always play the Badgers tough. And if you're not, I mean, this schedule, I know Villanova is not the greatest thing in the world, but this schedule, if you look ahead too far, you're going to fall back and you're going to get knocked out. So this is where right now you got to start picking up some wins here because once Big Ten play starts, goodness, it's going to start to get crazy real fast. A lot of ranked games, a lot of ranked teams, a lot of really good teams. And I just want to end it on this. Don't be alarmed that Wisconsin dropped out of the top 25 because this season between having to play, and I'm just going to, I mean, you could just look at the schedule right now and I can mention that Purdue is ranked number 1. UCLA is ranked number 18 right now. Michigan's number 7. Indiana's number 25. Illinois is number 13. Michigan State's number 11. You want to talk about, that's all in Wisconsin's schedule right there. And that's not saying that Oregon couldn't jump into the top 25 or a team like Maryland or Iowa, who's supposed to be on the up and ups this year. There is so much movement that is going to happen from now until these games happen. Don't even look to those games. Stay in the path. It's fine. They dropped that top 25. It's okay.
They'll be fine. They'll work their way back into it.
Exactly. It's fine. We just trust. If Luke Fickell can figure it out. Greg Gard, you know what he did? Luke Fickell took off that stupid team vest, and Greg Gard, he didn't wear a suit and tie to that game against BYU. So you know why they lost? He had a jumpsuit.
He wasn't wearing a suit.
You're the problem, Greg. You're the problem.
He wasn't wearing his suit and tie?
No, it was a crap. That's why. It was a crap show. I'm telling you. He screwed it.
He better suit up the rest of the season.
If he doesn't, I'm going down to Madison, and I'm going to be the one reporter down there is going to be like, hey, Greg, what's up with the clothing?
So we saw, hey, man, it worked for Fickell. Take off the team vest. Why'd you wear a jumpsuit, man?
Yeah, it's like they went reverse. He's like, oh, man,
that's wild to me. That is not Bo Ryan-like at all.
No. We need to call Bo. We need to be like, hey, Bo, you need to call Greg and chew him a new one. So, Christian, I got to run here. Thank you, as always. Let the people know where to find you out there across social media.
As always, find me at Christian Borman and find all the stuff I'm doing at the Badger Backer.
Make sure you guys are checking him out. Fantastic stuff. There are a lot of Badger talk. He's got recruiting next week. Huge week in recruiting next week. So we're going to get into that next week, the early signing period. We're going to talk about that with Christian here on the show. We got Badger Hoops full-fledged coming up here Thanksgiving Day against Providence. So make sure you guys are checking that one out. We're going to talk about that one next week here on the show. So thank you guys, Christian, for stopping by. We're going to be back here after the quick commercial break. We're going to wrap up hour number 1. Look ahead to hour number 2. We'll be right back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we wrap up hour number 1 here and look ahead to hour number 2. This last little portion is brought to you by Foreman's Hardware. They offer you everything from home essentials to farm supplies, house to farm, grills to drills. Foreman's Hardware has got you covered. Visit today in Loyal, Colby, or Medford, Wisconsin. Tell them I sent you. Tell them Trade sent you down there. Get 5% off your purchase. So in hour number 2, Ummer's going to stop by right off the bat. We're going to talk a little bit of Packers there. And then after that, Kyle's going to stop by. We have some Bucks talk to get to yet tonight here. We have some NFL talk to get into. Thanksgiving talk to get into. We have our Mellow Yellow Minute and everything in between. Make sure you guys are get involved in the show. 715-990-4914. That is 715-990-4914. Make sure you get like, subscribe, follow across all social media platforms. And if you miss any portion of the show, listen back across all podcast platforms next day. Just search Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. So we'll be right back here. Homer's going to stop by. We're going to talk some Packers. We'll be back here on the backside of this ad break.